Does Steve Rogers Doomsday return undermine Sam Wilson as Captain America? Did Disney's legal team just reveal we're getting a whole new Hugh Jackman Wolverine movie? And oh boy, we have got to talk about that leaked Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. Hey everybody, Colton here, and this is the mailbag style show where I take your questions about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, movies and streaming in general, whatever you want to ask. Send it in at the email address, askcoltonnow@gmail.com, link in the description below, and hey, maybe you'll see your question featured right here on the show. And hey guys, I get a lot of questions sent to the mailbag, and I wish I could answer every single one of them, but sometimes I just can't get to them all. But if you are a channel member, that does guarantee that you get one of your questions answered right here on the show, every show in our channel members section. So if you want to support the channel in that way, it is very much appreciated. And remember, the show is now on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and all the podcasting places. We are there. So please, if you've got a sec, give the show a download. It really helps us out a lot. All right. Well, Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. I am recording this on Christmas Eve, and it should be posting on Christmas Eve as well. Good to be here with you guys. As soon as I get done with the show, I'm going to go over to my granny's and we're going to do Christmas. I'm going to see the kids. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are having fun, having a good holiday, seeing family and friends as well. Now, this has been an exciting week, this previous week. Well, this week's been fun too, but we got the Avengers Doomsday teaser, right? The Steve Rogers one. And there is still a lot to talk about with that one and the implications that that teaser will have on the film Avengers Doomsday and the wider MCU. And we also have the Thor one to talk about. Then there's the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer that leaked. And, all last week, this was the highlight of my week last week. Yes, even in a week where we got the first Doomsday teaser, I got mentioned on the John Campea show like 5 days in a row. Now, if you have been following me for any time, you probably already know this, but I have been watching John Campea since I was like 14 years old. I'm now 28, and it was John Campea and his iterations of his show where he talked about movies on YouTube for a living, whether it was AMC Movie Talk or Collider Movie Talk, and then he had his solo venture, which he is still on with the John Campea show. He is the dude that made me realize that hey, you can make a career out of talking about movies. And I am very fortunate to say that is what I have done. And I credit him for the inspiration and the permission, I guess you could say, to believe that it was possible. Now, I have actually met John once, and I seriously doubt he remembers because, he meets lots of fans, and this was years ago before I was like known in this space, as known as I am now. But he was super nice when I met him. It was an honor to meet him, and I met his wife and his brother-in-law. It was super cool. And then last week, there I am. I'm sitting at my desk, working on a script for Screen Crush, and I've got the Campea show on the other screen, and I hear Robert Meyer Burnett mention me and one of my Doomsday videos, and it was just surreal. I am a huge fan of Rob's as well, and he's been with Campea for years now, and I've always missed him on any show that he's not there for because he is just a fun, informed, really great dude. So to hear him mention my video on the show, I've been watching a show I've been watching since I was 14. It was just crazy, man. And, I've actually kind of met Rob before once. I was at CinemaCon. I met Campea at CinemaCon, and then one year at CinemaCon, we're leaving the Coliseum after a presentation, and I see Rob across the room, and I go, Rob! And I wave, and he waved. Not that he knew who I was. I was just a fan yelling, but that's one interaction I've had with Rob in person. But yeah, man, I can't even tell you, I've gone on tour, right? I've met hundreds of you guys. I've met hundreds of fans. I've been recognized at airports and at cons and, in stores and on the street. And it is always just so surreal and an absolute pleasure. And it makes you realize, like, hey, hundreds of thousands and sometimes even millions of people are seeing your videos. But I have to say, hearing myself brought up on the Campea show, that was just got a career highlight, man. And then they brought me up like 4 more times, like, throughout the week. So that was just awesome. Super honored to have been mentioned. And, I thank you guys for watching the videos that I make here and on Screen Crush and, for making it possible for me to do what I do. It's the hardest job I've ever had, I will say. And I've had some really like shitty, super difficult jobs, but it's also the greatest job I've ever had. I love it. And on this Christmas Eve edition of the show, I just want to say how thankful I am to all of you for watching and, making this possible. So, all right, with that, let's go ahead and move into our questions, shall we? So I want to make sure that I let you guys know, I have a little bit of an announcement for something I want to try like in the new year. As I've said, I get a lot of questions in the mailbag for the show. And while I try to answer as many as I can on the show itself, I certainly just, I can't take the time to answer every single one as much as I would love to. But I'm so fortunate in the fact that so many of you watch and send in questions, and it's awesome. But sometimes I run into a situation where literally I just cannot answer them all, or maybe I don't have an interesting like response to the question that makes it worthy of being like a full topic on the show, because I just don't have much to say about it. Now, I do 100% certainly take the time to answer all channel member questions on the show, because that is the least I can do for you guys that are able to throw a few bucks our way to support the show. But I also just, I get a lot of great questions that from you guys that support the show just by watching, and I appreciate that as well so much. And sometimes they don't necessarily merit like being a full-blown topic on the Ask Colton show, simply because I don't have any like enough interesting stuff to say about it. Like I might only have like a minute or two in me for a response before I just start rambling, kind of like I'm doing now. So that is why, to get to my point, that is why I'm considering starting a like second, more laid back show where I will cover like a main topic at the beginning and take some time to then after that comb through just the email address mailbag and just at random pick some more questions that haven't been chosen for the full show, the main show, and just like take a minute or two to address those questions and answer those as well. Because I love you, my channel members. I appreciate you so much for supporting the channel and, financially and making it possible for us to keep doing it. And that will always guarantee that you get your question answered on the show. But there are also so many people who watch the show and support me in that way. And I love you guys. And I want to try to answer as many of your questions as possible as well. So I'm going to try to have that be a new show, a little more laid back, start with a main topic, and then take, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes to just comb through the email address, the inbox, and address some questions like 1-2 minutes at a time. So I'm hoping that will result in more questions getting answered, because I love interacting with you guys, and it's you guys that makes this possible. All right, with that, let's get started with our first question of the day, our first main topic, and this one comes to us from Toby. Toby writes, "Hey Colton, I went to see Avatar Fire and Ash opening weekend, and I saw the Steve Rogers Doomsday trailer, but I've seen some online rumblings that not everyone got the teaser in front of their screening of the movie, and that they were so mad that they demanded their money back. I would love to hear you rant about how they need to get over it." All right, well, thank you for the question. And yeah, I saw those same reports that there were people who went to Avatar hoping to see the Doomsday trailer, and they didn't get it. And that they were so upset by the fact that they didn't get it that they felt they deserved a refund for their ticket. Now, let me say, I completely understand being disappointed that you didn't get the Doomsday teaser in front of your screening. I would be upset as well, because I, of course, am excited to see these teasers that they're putting out for Doomsday exclusively in theaters. And the Steve one, which is now out, like online. So we've all seen that one. But yeah, I would have, if I went to see Avatar, I would have been really excited to see it as well. And I would have been bummed if it wasn't there. The same goes for this Thor one, all of them that are coming. So if you go to Avatar thinking, hell yeah, I'm going to get the Doomsday teaser on the big screen. It's exclusive. Let's go. And then you don't get it. Yeah, that's disappointing. But my friends, I'm sorry, you're not entitled to a refund. When there is an exchange of money and the entity you gave the money to doesn't deliver what they said they would deliver, in that case, yes, you are entitled to a refund. But in this case, the exchange that you took part in by buying your ticket to Avatar was you gave them money for a movie ticket to Avatar, and you were then given access to the movie theater where you may sit down and watch Avatar. And if that was delivered, then you got what you paid for. Nowhere on the ticket does it say Avatar Fire and Ash with an exclusive Doomsday teaser. Nowhere has there been a marketing campaign from Disney or Marvel saying that, oh, see Avatar Fire and Ash in theaters with an exclusive sneak preview of Avengers Doomsday. That doesn't exist. Marvel hasn't said shit about these teasers. Disney either. So while I get being disappointed that there was supposed to be a trailer played in front of the movie, but in some people's situation it wasn't, that sucks. It's frustrating. But you are in no way entitled to a refund because that wasn't part of the deal. Now, if there were advertisements saying that the Doomsday teaser will be playing exclusively with Avatar Fire and Ash, then maybe we could have that discussion on if you're entitled to some money back, but that's not the case. So unfortunately, tough titty. you don't deserve your money back. I'm sorry. But look, let me know. Did any of you guys see Avatar hoping to see the teaser and then you didn't get it? Let me know because, yeah, I'd be pissed too if that happened. And to those of you who did see the teaser, let me know. What were the reactions like in your audience? I am curious to hear that as well, what the audience response was for the Doomsday teaser. Or are you somebody who went and didn't get it and you want your money back? To which I'm so sorry, but no, you just, unfortunately, that they don't owe you your money back. As long as they played Avatar, that's what you bought a ticket to see. So that's what you got. All right. Thanks so much for the question, Toby. And I'm glad you got to see the teaser. I'm glad you weren't one of the people who didn't get to see it. All right. Next, we have a question from Aaron. Aaron writes, Colton, I've seen the Steve Rogers teaser, the Thor teaser, and the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer all online as leaks. And I have to say that while it's a fun sugar high when I'm first watching them, I immediately feel like I peaked at my Christmas presents. The Steve Rogers one is officially out now, and I wasn't excited watching it because I had already seen the leaked version. Are all these trailer leaks hurting the marketing campaign for these movies, and would it be better had they just dropped them online? Okay. Really great question. So yeah, the Steve Rogers Doomsday teaser, it leaked big. And I was one of the guys that, still wasn't really convinced that it was real until people started like actually seeing it playing in theaters. And yeah, now of course, it's up on YouTube now officially. And I have to say, I kind of felt the same way, man, watching the full HD one on YouTube. I felt like I, had already spoiled the fun by seeing the leaked version. And it felt like, it kind of took the wind out of the sails for me on that first Doomsday teaser. Now, a marketing campaign's responsibility is to get people excited and talking about the product, this product being Avengers Doomsday. And that has certainly happened. Everyone was talking about this teaser before it even dropped in theaters. So, I mean, to that degree, I guess it succeeded. This, putting it in theaters exclusively, not dropping it online, all of that. And maybe that's their whole strategy here, a social media focused campaign, because I mean, that's where everyone is, a social media focused guerrilla marketing, style campaign that starts with the trailer being leaked and generating, excitement and this feeling of, oh, we're not supposed to be seeing this, but we are. And, maybe that's what they're going for. And like you mentioned, the Thor one has now leaked as well, and it looks dope. It's not as big of a deal, I guess you could say, because we knew that Thor was coming back. The Steve Rogers one, however, had the added layer of confirmation that Chris Evans is back. But yeah, I'm with you that it feels fun at first, and then you're given like this, for lack of a better term, this post-leak clarity of, oh man, that would have been fun to see for the first time in like full HD, not a cell phone recording. And I felt that way with the leaked Spider-Man trailer, especially because, man, it looks awesome. And I was grinning ear to ear watching it and seeing Frank Castle with Spider-Man. Oh my God, so cool. But I mean, when that trailer officially drops, I don't think it's going to have that same feeling of seeing it for the first time. And the fun will have already been slightly spoiled, I think. And the brand new day one, it's a little different, I guess, because it seems to be a leak from like someone's work computer who like works at Sony or the trailer house that is making the trailer. But I have to say, I'm like 30% bought into the conspiracy theory that Sony saw all the trailer, or all the traction, excuse me, for the Doomsday trailer with the Steve Rogers one. And they were like, hey, leak our brand new day teaser. We want in on this. Now, that's probably not the case, but I don't know, man. Sony, so you never know. So yeah, to close, I'm all for Marvel taking a different approach to the marketing campaign for this movie. If they think this is their best path forward, if they think it will get the most asses in seats, go for it. But yeah, I'm with you that leaks are fun, but kind of disappointing after you watch them, and maybe wish you hadn't. All right, thanks so much for the question. Next, we have a question from Grace. Grace writes, hey Colton, I am very excited that Steve Rogers is coming back for Avengers Doomsday. I love him and Bucky and Sam and can't wait to see them all together again. I do wonder, however, if his return is undermining Sam's time as Captain America. All right, thank you so much for the question. And yeah, I too am super excited that Steve Rogers is back. But I have to say, I'm not even a little bit surprised. I've been telling you guys for years now that yes, of course, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans will be back in the next Avengers movie. It's a guarantee. Never doubt me, okay? But look, now with like this confirmation that he's back, I have heard from, I guess you could say, two camps, one of which is more vile than the other, but both seem to think that this Steve Rogers return is somehow a commentary on Sam's role as Captain America, or like Marvel's response to Brave New World not being great or doing great. I've seen the more well-meaning side of this argument where people are saying, well, what was the point of the end of Endgame? Let Steve rest. Let Sam have his time. And I just have to say that this suggestion that the return of Steve Rogers is somehow Marvel giving in and responding to Brave New World not being received well. And then there's, the more obnoxious side of the internet that is saying stupid shit like, oh, the real Captain America is back. And, oh, they're taking victory laps. Like Marvel has conceded that no one likes Sam Wilson, Captain America. And that's why they're bringing back Steve Rogers to right the wrongs of the multiverse saga. To both sides, and I mean, like, a special fuck you to the real Captain America's back. Screw you guys. Chris Evans would hate you. Anyway, but to both sides, and I hate to say, oh, well, both sides, but really, everyone's wrong. You're all wrong. Steve Rogers' return, a return that was always going to happen, it has absolutely zero to do with Sam Wilson's time as Cap. And this was going to happen no matter what. Even if Brave New World was regarded as like the best Marvel movie ever, and everyone thought that Sam Wilson was the superior Captain America, Steve Rogers would still be coming back for Doomsday, because the story calls for it. Steve Rogers is a key piece of the MCU, a very important character who has so much more story to be told, story that was set up in Avengers Endgame. And to all these people saying, what was the point of Endgame's ending if you're just going to bring him back 7 years later? What does that even mean? What do you mean, what's the point? What's the point of any of it? If you're going to ask that, it's all pretend made up bullshit to entertain us and distract from our crumbling planet. That's the point. Steve Rogers is back because it's cool. Steve Rogers was always coming back. In the comics, Steve Rogers passes the mantle of Captain America to Sam Wilson, but Sam Wilson serves as Captain America, but Steve Rogers is still around. He's still an active hero in the Marvel Universe, fighting alongside Sam's Cap. So while I understand like the optics of, oh, we gave Sam the shield, and he's Captain America now. Oh, the audience didn't exactly respond well to it, so now Steve Rogers is back. I get how it can look that way. But yeah, it can look like a backtrack, but that's not what it is. Because it was always the plan to bring, it was always the plan. It was always the plan for the character of Steve Rogers to have a role to play in this movie, even when it was Kang Dynasty, and a role to play in Secret Wars as well. And I just think it's great news all around. It doesn't undermine Sam. It opens the door for us to get more stories with Steve Rogers, Sam, Bucky, and find out what Steve got up to all those years between when we saw him leave on the time platform and when he comes back as an old man and gives Sam the shield, a shield that I think that old Steve Rogers from the future will have gotten from a future Sam Wilson. But I've talked about that theory plenty. I won't get into it again here. So to answer the question, no, I don't think bringing back Steve Rogers is disrespectful to Sam. There is room for both. And no, I don't think bringing back Steve Rogers in any way, shape, or form is any type of commentary from Marvel on the status of Sam Wilson as Cap. Sam Wilson is Captain America. Sam Wilson will remain Captain America. And Steve Rogers will be Steve Rogers. And I think he may even become like President Steve Rogers in like the post-Secret Wars era of the MCU. Maybe that's why they made him look like President Biden. Granted, Endgame was made before Biden beat Trump. Anyway, I don't want to hear the what's the point bullshit though. The point is that they took a little break after Endgame. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, and we're about to get more great stories with Chris Evans and Steve Rogers alongside Sam Wilson, Captain America. And I know I did the whole the both sides thing. I understand the side of the argument of, oh, it looks like they're backtracking. They're not giving Sam his time. I disagree with that. And to the numbskulls who are saying, oh, the real Captain America is back, Marvel caves. They're just fucking idiots. They've always been fucking idiots. They'll always be fucking idiots. So I really don't know why I even give them the time of day. I guess it's fun to laugh at their stupidity. All right. Thank you so much for the question. Next, we have a question from Christopher. Christopher writes, hey, Colton, I saw the news that Marvel has trademarked Wolverine for a movie title and was wondering what you think this means for Hugh Jackman and his future as the character. Will they make him do it till he's 90? All right. Thanks so much for the question, Christopher. And yeah, I saw that news as well, to which I kind of filed under the duh column. Like, I would assume that, and I don't know how all of this works, but I would assume Marvel makes sure that they always have like the proper legal stuff in place for their big IPs. And so making sure that they have the right to a movie named Wolverine would probably be important. But yes, this is exciting to see that, you know, they must have like some like loose ideas of a plan maybe for a Wolverine something in the next saga of the MCU, a saga that I think will be called the Mutant Saga. Now, we do know that Marvel has an X-Men movie in the works for after Secret Wars, and that it will be like a new team of X-Men, an MCU proper X-Men that moves on from the Fox era and has like a new young cast. But I'm still kind of holding out hope that maybe James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender will be brought back as Professor X and Magneto. And I am very on record that I think Hugh Jackman should and probably will stay on as Wolverine even after Secret Wars. He loves playing the character. He's come out of retirement already. He's 100% going to do Doomsday and Secret Wars, but I could also see them being interested in doing more Deadpool and Wolverine movies. I mean, why the hell not? Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, they love working together. And the X-Men, you know, I think they could use some attention on themselves, on like other characters besides Wolverine, and allow for like some other X-Men to like shine. So I think it would be dope if they had the X-Men movie not even have Wolverine and just focus on like other X-Men, and then they can do like a Deadpool and Wolverine 2, or make like an X-Force movie with Deadpool and Wolverine and tell these funny, like R-rated, loosely connected to the wider story movies with these two characters, and, you know, rake in that money, man. And I just feel like it's a win-win-win-win all around. I know people, you know, want a new Wolverine. And man, that time will come. We will get a new Wolverine eventually. And yeah, after Secret Wars would be probably an ideal time to recast the character. But if Hugh Jackman is down to keep playing the character for like another 10 years, then let him, you know? Say what you will about Deadpool and Wolverine, but it was fun. And I'd love to see them do like an R-rated series of X-Force movies for the Mutant Saga, and then have Deadpool and Wolverine and whoever else come in for the big culmination event for the mutant saga, whatever that might be, like, I don't know, Age of Apocalypse or something like that. And this makes it to where maybe Laura's X-23 can be the Wolverine maybe of the new X-Men team for that new MCU X-Men movie. That would be great because I love Daphne Keane and I want to see her keep playing this character. And I think she could fit right in alongside the new young cast of X-Men. And you know what? I'm going to say it. Keep James Marsden too, as Cyclops. Have him be the older leader of the X-Men version of Cyclops. And then bring in like a newer generation of X-Men. You could have Rachel Summers, he and Jean's daughter. And I think that would be cool because I know I'm a little off topic here because we're talking about a movie called Wolverine. But, you know, Jackman and McAvoy and Fassbender and a James Marsden Cyclops and maybe even like Kelsey Grammer's Beast, having them there and then introducing like a new cast of X-Men for like maybe like a Jubilee, a new Rogue, like characters like that, new Iceman, and have that be the new young cast. And then you have like the older characters. That would just be cool. I think Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, James Marsden Cyclops, and James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender back as, I have a hair in my fucking eye, as Magneto and Professor X. That would be dope. Now, I'm a little off topic here because we were talking about a movie called Wolverine. And look, Hugh Jackman has done like 3 Wolverine movies. I don't think that he has any interest really in doing another like solo Wolverine movie after having done Logan. And I kind of prefer the idea of him just doing movies with Deadpool or like do an X-Force movie and have him pop up as like this elder statesman in the MCU X-Men movies. But a Wolverine movie that I would be down to see in like 10 or 15 years would be a comic accurate Old Man Logan with like hillbilly Hulks, Jeremy Renner back as a blind Hawkeye. That would be fucking cool. And yes, one day we will get just a full-blown new Wolverine, but I think there's still plenty of time for that to happen. Give me more Hugh Jackman while we have him. That's my take. All right. Thanks so much for the question. All right, and that brings us to the best part of the show, our channel member question section. So let's move over to the desk and I'll get those pulled up and we will go through them. All right, I'm here at the desk and I've got our channel member section pulled up right here on the computer. And let's get started. All right, our first question comes to us from channel member Awarev9. When will you write/direct a Marvel movie? All right. Probably never. I think that's very sweet of you to ask, though. Warev, I believe your profile picture is the paperclip, right? I've seen many of your kind comments on Screen Crush and on the channel of you demanding that I write and direct a Marvel movie one day. Hey, man, if Kevin Feige called me up and said, "Hey, Colton, you've got some great ideas. I want you to come by and brainstorm some stuff with me," I'd be like, hell yeah, brother. All right, I'll be there. I don't know that I'd be the right choice to write and direct simply because I've written and directed small film productions before. Never on the scale of something like an Avengers movie or a Marvel movie or a movie. So that would not be a good idea to just throw me in there. But hey, man, if they ever wanted to like consult on like, you know, like a story thing, like what would be cool and like what fans would like to see and what they respond well to, hey, I'd be down. I seriously doubt it'll ever happen though, because they know what they're, well, I was going to say they know what they're doing. Most of the time they do. But hey, yeah, if I ever got a call from someone saying, hey, we'd like to talk to you about, we've got this idea, what direction would you like us to go? Or what direction do you think we should go? I would be over the moon to consult, but I seriously doubt I'll ever write or direct any like major motion picture. That just doesn't seem to be the trajectory I'm on. I would love to write and direct, do like a feature film. I've done one feature film, and you know, it cost $10,000. You know, I did it all, did everything. I did the camera, I wrote it, I directed it. Um, it was called We Love Tracy Callahan, and there's actually a trailer for it, I think, up on the channel. But we were filming it, like trying to film it around COVID, and we just never finished filming. I tried to cut together what we had to see if I could make it work, but I just wasn't happy with it. It wasn't something that I was happy to release. So that's the unreleased Colton Ogburn film that you will never see. But yeah, one day, yeah, if I ever have like the disposable income to do it, I'd love to take like 2 months and just like, go write and shoot a movie. That would be fun. And I don't even know if you'd need 2 months to do it. But thank you for thanking. Thanks for thanking of me. Can't even say the messed up version, right? All right. Next, we have a question from channel member Dunham C88. Don't know if this has been asked before, but looking after Doomsday, is there anything that you would love to see played out in the mutant saga? Like if Marvel called and gave you a chance to make your own show, what would that look like? All right, lots of people demanding that I get in there and right this ship at Marvel. Okay, so like after Doomsday, after Secret Wars stuff that I'd like to see for the mutant saga, I kind of talked about it earlier when we were doing the main show. I would really like to see an X-Force project or like movie or whatever with Deadpool, Wolverine, and like some other X-Men characters, like the what is Stryker's Task Force X, like maybe that kind of thing. Don't have Stryker be involved, but like Deadpool, Wolverine, and some other mutants doing like having these rated R movies that are funny and like brutal, like blood and stuff, action packed, and I think that those could be like 800 million to $1 billion films. I still want to get like a proper Deadpool 3, but I would really like to see like a Deadpool and Wolverine 2, and then maybe a Deadpool and Wolverine 3, and then maybe like some X-Force movies. I think that would be fun. And I would like to see Laura's X-23, Daphne Keene, with the main X-Men. So I hope that happens. That would be my suggestion if they ask me what they should do. All right, thanks so much for the question. Next, we have a question from channel member Eli Gore 6550. Hi, Colton. It's Eli Gore again. 25 from Rosh Hayen, Israel. I just wanted to say I really continue to enjoy your content and appreciate your honest take on movies. It's always a pleasure to watch your videos. I have a slightly different question this time. With the news of Netflix acquiring Warner Brothers, I'm curious what this might mean for the future of Rotten Tomatoes since it's owned by Warner. Personally, I don't really see much positive value in sites like that anymore, but I'd love to hear your own take. Do you think Rotten Tomatoes has any positive role, or do you agree with those who say it's harmful to the film industry? And do you think this acquisition could change its status or influence going forward? Thanks so much for your time, and if you address this in a video, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Eli. P.S. I never doubt Colton. I never doubt the Colton, and whether it's something important is anybody's guess. Ha ha. All right. Hell yeah, Eli. Never doubt the Colton. I'm so stupid. Thanks for the question, man. Yeah, Warner does own Rotten Tomatoes, doesn't it? I'd kind of forgotten about that. What's interesting, and I might be talking out of my ass here, did they own it when Rotten Tomatoes... Did they own Rotten Tomatoes when all the DCEU films were getting horrible Rotten Tomatoes scores, and people were like, oh, it's rigged, they're, the critics and the whatever, they're Disney's paying Rotten Tomatoes for them to make DC movies look bad. Warner Brothers, who does the DC movies, did they own Rotten Tomatoes at the time? That'd be interesting to know. Look, I get the optics of it not looking good for a movie studio to own a movie review site, because then that's just bad optics. Now, do I actually think that there is any like backroom shady shit where Warner Brothers is like leaning on Rotten Tomatoes to give their movies good scores? No, because that's just not how Rotten Tomatoes works. Rotten Tomatoes verifies critics, and then critics go in and they give a thumb up or a thumb down for a movie, and then it gets its score. So while I don't think that there's any like tomfoolery going on behind the scenes with that, I do understand that it's kind of bad optics, and maybe it would just be best if they just sold Rotten Tomatoes to someone else who doesn't own a movie studio. Now, I like Rotten Tomatoes. Like, there's so much to watch now, and sometimes you just don't know. Like, you're flipping through, like trying to find like maybe a fun movie to just kind of turn on, while you're chilling on the couch. I'm usually like, sometimes I try to get away from my desk occasionally and like just do work on my laptop, but maybe like from the couch instead of being in my office, because I'm in my office all day already. And I think it's better for my mental health to maybe not be in here like 15 hours a day. So I'll try to like move to the couch at the end of the day, and I'll still do work on my laptop, but I like to turn something on. And God, I'm realizing that I'm kind of a product of what Netflix says that they're trying to do, which is create content that can be listened to in the background while you scroll through your phone. Oh my God, it's me, except I'm working. Uh, anyway, I do tend to, or if I'm just trying to relax for the night, like turn on a movie or something on a weekend or something, which is rare, I will go to Rotten Tomatoes. Now, I primarily do that because if I'm interested in a movie, if I think it looks good, and like if it has, say, a 55, well, then I'll probably still watch it. If it has a 50, maybe a 45, maybe I'll still watch it if I'm super interested and like I'll read the reviews and stuff. But if I like type in a movie title and I see that it has like a 7, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to waste my time watching that. Now, is that fair or unfair? I don't know. My time, like your time, like anyone's time is valuable. I don't want to spend my time wasted watching a piece of shit movie. So if I see on Rotten Tomatoes it has like a 7 or something, I do lean on that to see if it has just like an atrocious score, or if it has like, a 90 or something. Then I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I do want to make the time to watch that. But apart from that, I'm really not crazy about the thumb up, thumb down nature of Rotten Tomatoes. I think now they do have a way where you can give like a out of 5 score, but you ultimately do have to give it a tomato or a rotten. And really your average score for a movie comes down to just taking the negative reviews and the positive reviews and averaging it out, and that gives you your score. There are plenty of movies I see that I feel like I would not be comfortable giving a good tomato or a rotten tomato. I would just be like, it's fine. I don't want to say it's rotten, but I don't want to be like, oh, it's good either. I feel like that happens a lot. So I'm not a certified whatever on Rotten Tomatoes, I don't think. So or I might be on Screen Crush's critic approved. Anyway, I understand your question. I think Rotten Tomatoes should probably not be owned by a movie studio. And what was the rest of your question? Change its status or influence? Yeah, they should probably let it go. Give it to somebody else. Not give it, sell it to somebody else. All right, thanks so much for the question. Next, we have a question from channel member Eocine V2. Do you think we're going to get an X-Men First Class style movie to kick off the MCU post-Doom, or will we move with an already established team? I ask because I want to see some of the wider X characters, not just Scott, Jean, Hank, Logan, etc., etc., etc. Give me X-Force. Hey, yes. Give me Generation X. Give me the Cuckoos. Give me the wider world beyond the mansion. Hey, yeah, I agree. Well, okay, speaking of the mansion, I want to see a lot of stuff going on at the mansion. I want to see the kids, the kid X-Men, like, the youth, like, maybe not kids, but like, like young adult X-Men going through young adult things and also dealing with being a mutant. I think that is such a cool part of the X-Men story. And it has like, them being at the school and having like, different drama and the romances and, all of that, and them dealing with being mutants. And it's such a cool story. So that's something I want to see. But yes, as I've said, I want to see some X-Force stuff. I want to see other stuff. And if it's the mutant saga, we're going to be having a lot of mutant related stuff. I think even in like our Avengers movies and our whatever movies, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, if it's the mutant saga, we could see mutants having a big role to play in every movie. So yeah, I 100% want to see like some other stuff. Now, your question was will we get an X-Men First Class style movie to kick it off, or will it be an already established team? I hope it's an already established team. Yes, we'll have new characters. I hope we get like a new Rogue. I really want Margaret Qualley. It's Margaret Qualley, right? Who's from I love her in The Maid. I love her in The Substance. I'd really like to see her play Rogue. And there's plenty of other like new X-Men characters who I do want to see like established kind of like they were in First Class. But I hope that the X-Men is kind of like already an established team. Like I don't want to see like the formation of the X-Men. No, I do not want that. Like I said toward the top, I hope to see like James McAvoy Fassbender. I hope to see them return, and have Wolverine and Marsden as well. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, James Marsden, Cyclops. I'd love to see them as like, in that role of like elder statesman type X-Men characters as well. So that's what I hope to see there. All right, thanks so much for the question. All right, and then we have our last one from channel member Call Me John 1, Dear Colton, who is totally not stuck in a television. I'm not sure what that's referring to whatsoever. Do you think Marvel could be planning to set up Doomsday Secret Wars in other types of media? I always found it suspicious how much Doctor Doom started showing up in other projects once Kang Dynasty became Doomsday. Doctor Doom became the villain of an entire Fortnite season and is also the driving force behind the plot in Marvel Rivals. The simplest and most obvious answer behind that would be advertising. They need people to know who Doctor Doom is, but could we see Marvel use the popularity of its other properties to actually set up Doomsday Secret Wars? Yeah, 100%. That's what's happening. When they decided that, yeah, we're doing Doctor Doom, of course they said, okay, we're going to do more Doom comics. We're going to do more Doom video games. We're going to do more Doom this, more Doom that. 100%. Yes, that is what's happening. They will use their comics. They will use their games. They will use their mobile games. They'll use all of it to help generate excitement around what they're doing, with the Avengers movies. Yeah, I think that they released like the Fantastic Four skins on Marvel Rivals. I think they released the Fantastic Four skins that came out like alongside Fantastic Four First Steps. So yeah, they're going to be I think releasing like certain things in their games, their mobile games, their comics, and whatnot to set up and tease like what we have coming with Doomsday and Secret Wars, 100%. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of Doom-centric stuff to just get Doom on the mind, get people excited about, hey, Doctor Doom. I played against Doctor Doom or whatever in that video game. Oh, I read this comic with Doctor Doom. Yeah, so they are trying to get Doctor Doom on the brain for Doomsday and Secret Wars, 100%. All right. And that was our last question for the channel members section. I want to thank you all so much for being channel members. Really, 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 really appreciate you guys supporting the channel in that way. Love reading your questions here. All right. Thank you all so much for watching the show. I'm going to go. I have Christmas things to do, as I'm sure you do as well. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate, just having time with the family, having time with friends, or if you're just kicking back and watching some Colton YouTube videos. Have fun. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you next week. Oh, and hey, by the way, today I have a video going up on Screen Crush. Like, it's probably already up right now. About it's a theory video that has to do with like Thor and Steve and the teaser trailers they're putting out, and of course what Doctor Doom has planned for the kids. So Doctor Doom, he's like, hey, fuck them kids. That's Doctor Doom up in here. So go watch that Screen Crush video, and yeah. Have a good Christmas. Love you guys. Bye.
Ask Colton! He has all the best takes in the world. Ask me! Where I learned what to say, what to think. I asked him.